All right, what's up, guys? Jackson Ape here today, and today we're going to talk about protein timing. This is a pretty big topic. A lot of people are really curious about when they need to have their protein. Does it matter? Do I need to eat it before bed? Do I need to eat it at every meal? Do I need to eat it before I work out? Do I need to eat it after I work out? There's a lot of questions that revolve around when should I consume my protein. We obviously have talked about a lot how much protein we need to be consuming. 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is ideal. And spread throughout the day evenly is what I recommend for people. I weigh to about 200 pounds right now, so I would consume about 200 grams of protein. And ideally, I would have 4 meals with about 50 grams of protein each in them. Does that always look that way? Absolutely not. That is subject to change every single day. So even with all these questions, it depends. Whether for your goals, what you got going on that day. Some days are busier than others. Some things pop up randomly. Sometimes we have emergencies. Sometimes we just forget to eat for a little bit. There's a lot of things that happen when it comes to your nutrition approach and things that happen. And protein timing is a big deal in a sense, but at the same time, as long as you're consuming the amount of protein that you need to be consuming on a daily basis, you're good. So again, I weigh 200 pounds. I would consume about 200 grams of protein. While not ideal by any means necessary, if I had one big meal that gave me about 80% of my total daily protein, my body's going to figure out how to use it in some capacity. Is some going to get wasted? I am sure. But your body isn't going to just neglect all the nutrients that you put in it if that's the only time that you're eating. Eventually, your body is going to get used to that, and it would accommodate to what you're doing, and it would then begin to extract the most amount of nutrients that it can from that singular meal. That is not ideal, but I know that could be a scenario for someone out there, and if you're watching this, I want you to understand that you're doing all right. As long as you're getting in the amount of protein that you need to at the end of the day, you're going to be checking your boxes and you're going to be good. Now, like I said, it is a lot better to have them evenly spaced sporadically throughout the day. That way you can just ensure that you're constantly hitting your blood, you're hitting your protein goals, but you're putting protein in your body so it can be hitting your bloodstream. The amino acids are flowing around, they're getting into your muscle bellies, and your body can just do what it needs to do with the amino acids as well. So does it matter? It just depends. Yes, it matters in a sense, but on the same end, you're not going to die if you lose or if you miss 30 grams of protein from a meal. Let's say, like I just said for the example, you have 4 meals per day that have 50 grams of protein in them, and say one of them you only have 30 grams of protein. You can show that 20 grams of protein in throughout the day somewhere else, adding 10 grams protein to the other 2 meals, or just adding the 20 to one meal, or again, just consuming the 20 on its own. At the end of the day, it's just about the total daily protein that you need to be consuming. The anabolic window is a question that many people wonder. Do I need to eat right after I work out? It's important, to get nutrients in your body after you work out, but it is a complete myth that you're not going to receive the most amount of benefit from the protein if you consume it after a certain time frame after you work out. Some people will tell you 30 minutes, some people will tell you 60 minutes. I've read anything from right after you work out up until 3 or 4 hours after you work out to consume a meal to start getting nutrients in your body. Either way, whatever route you go, as long as you're within that time frame after working out, you're going to be just fine. Your body is not going to go ballistic. It has reserves in its body for a reason, and it can use those reserves while you wait to consume your meal after you work out. It is recommended, obviously, to eat after you work out. I really like to eat within 1 to 2 hours, but I'm not always hungry after I work out. Sometimes after a really intense workout, I don't want to eat. I want to give myself 30, 45 minutes to kind of cool off, let my heart rate come down, maybe have some water, and then I like to eat. And that is totally okay if that is the way that you approach yours as well. So the anabolic window, it's a thing, but it also isn't a thing at the same time. As long as you are stimulating muscle protein synthesis, as long as you are consuming the right amounts of protein on a daily basis, you do not need to eat immediately after your workout. Before bed, this is a big one. Some people think it's necessary, some people don't. I don't think it's necessary, but I think it's a really good idea. Putting some protein, maybe some carbs into your belly right before you go to bed will give your body something to digest. Again, this is when we're repairing our body. You will hear some people say, don't eat a bunch before you go to bed. Body's not gonna digest it. again, what do you think we're doing when we're sleeping? Our body is taking all the nutrients that we have in our intestines and our body, and it's continuously shoveling these things through our body and our bloodstream so that the nutrients can get to where they need to go to do their jobs. They don't just go to sleep as well. Your body is in working order, especially when you're sleeping. That is when the repair process is occurring. So in my opinion, getting a little bit of protein and some carbs in right before bed is a good idea, and it will aid in some recovery. It will help, to me at least, it helps me get right into sleep. And usually I am pretty hungry in the mornings, but that could be because I'm not eating enough right before bed, or throughout the day, what have you. But at the end of the day, eating right before bed is not a bad idea. Now, if you are someone that has some distress, or you have some troubles falling asleep because you eat right before bed, then you need to push that meal time back, and give yourself a little bit more time to digest the food before you lay down and try to go to sleep, because we do not want that process interfering with our sleep, as sleep is extremely important. So protein timing, it's a big topic. It can be tricky, but truthfully, again, just aim to get your total daily protein goal every single day, and you're going to be just fine.